and welcome to the Giraffe Social Media Podcast. It's what social media managers are talking about. I'm Chloe, and today I'm joined by our wonderful co-hosts, Ellie and Katie. Coming up on this week's episode, we'll be rounding up the best father figures on social media. Plus, we'll be sharing our top tips for creating an inclusive Father's Day campaign. Right, ladies, this week's episode is going to be a very special Father's Day episode. We are only a few days out from the big day, this Sunday, the 19th of June. So as a tribute, I thought it would be fun to dedicate today's episode to the best dads on social media. From celebrity dad jokes to inspiring dadfluencers and everything in between, there's nothing quite like experiencing life on social media through the eyes of a father. So I thought it would be a bit of fun to round up our favorite father figures. Ellie, do you want to do us the honors?
Yeah, I mean, straight away, Gordon Ramsay comes to mind. I don't know whether you've seen him on social media, but his daughter Tilly recently was on Strictly, and kind of since then she's also been quite prominent on social media. So between the two of them, they've kind of been bouncing off each other, doing dance routines on TikTok together, playing pranks on each other. So it's just a really nice father-daughter relationship that you can see from the two of them. And I really like Gordon Ramsay anyway on social media. I think he's really funny. He gets tweeted all the time, duetted. People tag their dishes to him, and he is so sarky and he's just a really great all-rounder on social media. I think he's really, really going for it.
Yes, I think he knows, but he's got so much to work with because most of his videos I feel he posts on TikTok is just sort of responding to people who have made these awful dishes.
Yeah.
But my favorite Ramsay content is when he features in his daughter's videos, and she's kind of just taking the mickey out of him a little bit and sort of humbles him, I guess.
Definitely.
I love the dancing ones, and he's kind of just behind her trying to keep up with whatever she's doing. I love their dynamic.
I was gonna say, I feel that is a dad trying his best, he is that prime example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think celebrity dads are definitely up there. Similar to Ramsay, I have put down David Beckham as one of my favorite dads on social media, not only because it's just a bit of eye candy, but I think he has a really good relationship with his kids as well, and I think that the content that they sort of create together, willingly or not, is really funny. I remember him saying in a talk show once, Brooklyn Beckham, his son, had just hit 1 million followers on Instagram, and he made this story, and he was guys, thank you so much for 1 million followers, what a milestone. And then David Beckham just sort of pops into the background, and he's I've got 22, and then jumps out and runs away. I think celebrity dads and their kids on social media is such a winning combo.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going off of that, more niche internet celebrity, because we all love them. Brian Wecht, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's part of this band called Ninja Sex Party and another one called Starbomb, and he does his own music as well. Really smart guy, has a PhD, but also has an incredibly intelligent daughter. Her name is Audrey. She is now 8 years old, which is shocking to me because I remember seeing his tweets from when she was 3 or 4. And just to read you a couple of excerpts from his Twitter. One of my favourite ones I found today is just got called a little butt baby by a 6-year-old at the playground. Told him I had a PhD in theoretical physics. Didn't change his mind. And we were talking to our 7-year-old about animals' natural defences today, and she loudly declared, well, my natural defence is karate. And it's just I know, she's proper smart, I think. She's smarter than me. Yeah. And 8-year-old just screamed, Dad, stop supervising me. I think potentially as she gets older, this may be embarrassing to her to have it all online. However, for the time being, it's very funny, and I think it's just good content, man. It's good, wholesome dad content.
That really reminds me of, I don't know his name or his handle, but there's a dad on TikTok and he just makes these videos where he green screens a background and in the back
and he's apologizing to his teenagers.
And he's like, things I had to apologize to my teenagers for today. And it's things it's like,
the smoothie I made them was too cold.
Yeah, just like really silly things, or just like dads being, I guess kids thinking that they're too cool for their dads and everything that they do is so cringe, and he just every day uploads a list of things he had to apologize to his kids for, and things like that just get me every time. And that really reminded me of your pick.
Just, I know you guys are looking more into like the niche dads. However, I'm going to go mainstream again with another celebrity dad, Tom Fletcher from Fly. He is like a proper dad on social media. Like his posts, like almost every other post is like with his kids and like just posting like really fun, wholesome family content, which is just like really sweet to see. And especially since he is like a massive musician, he was in a band, and for him to kind of be posting this really like family orientated cutesy kind of content, it's just like really nice to see. And like one of the posts that I saw, which I thought was really nice, is he posted like a picture of like his fridge, and you know how you get fridge magnets which you can like spell words out and stuff. His kids had like wrote him a message being like, what was it, hello stinky daddy, and that was like what he was like, oh what a morning, or like good morning to me, or something like that. And I just think, oh, it's just like a really nice way to like put a spin on it, and yeah, like kind of showcase your kids in a really cute way. But yeah, that's my kind of favorites.
One more dad that I have who doesn't necessarily feature much of his kids on social media and is more just like his own sort of content creator is Emma Chamberlain's dad. So Michael Chamberlain is the father of Emma Chamberlain, who is like, if you don't know who that is, where have you been? She's just a massive YouTube sensation. And what many people don't know is that Michael actually has a YouTube channel himself, and he's been making videos since before Emma ever kind of surfaced on the platform. And I only recently kind of discovered this myself. I think one of his videos popped up in my suggested, and I thought, yeah, I'll give that a watch. But what I love about him is that he is an artist. That is his job. He's a painter, and he spends a lot of time in cities around the world. Obviously, I think he's based in San Francisco, but Emma takes him on a lot of her sort of PR trips and things. So sometimes he's in Paris and New York and all this. And basically, he just vlogs himself painting these canvases. So one of the first ones I watched was he was in Paris. I think it was Fashion Week that Emma was in, and he just went to this beautiful setting along the river, and he just vlogged himself painting this scene. Wow. And he like documents the entire process, and obviously he sort of skips through and speeds things up, but it's so relaxing, and I guess you could call it really wholesome as well. And he's also sort of just teaching people who might be interested in painting, because, you know, he sort of talks about the process and what he's doing and why he's doing things certain ways. But also as someone who's maybe like, I'm not interested in painting and I know him through Emma, it's just kind of like interesting and relaxing to watch. And he has so many fans because of it. A lot of them are from Emma, but some of them are just genuine sort of painters, and it's just really, really good. And his Instagram, I follow him on Instagram as well. He posts all his finished work, and he's so good, and his paint style is very sort of abstract, I guess. But yeah, I really recommend it if you haven't seen his videos already.
Oh, that's so cute.
It is, yeah, it's so sweet. And he never, like, he doesn't sort of use Emma to kind of, I don't know, promote his own, like, he's just quite happy doing his own thing, and he has been before she was on there. So I think it's super cool.
I love the fact that he probably inspired her to pick up the camera and start her own YouTube channel, which is like
totally,
that is kind of what a dad does. Oh, it's just like really sweet.
Totally. And they're like in it together type thing, and I love that she sort of takes them on their trips and stuff. So yeah, a really, really nice one to follow. But Katie, I know we had a similar pick. Well, we had the same pick that we both wanted to talk about, and I've been talking too much, so why don't you take it away?
Okay, so speaking of wholesome YouTube dads, I think, you know, it would be unfair to do this segment without talking about the dad of the internet, Dad How Do I on YouTube. He's also got like Instagram and everything else, but like he's predominantly on YouTube. And if you haven't heard of him before, like go check him out. He's basically this guy who's being a father figure to the internet. He's teaching like life skills. He's teaching you how to use tools. I think there's even a video where he like teaches you how to like tie a tie. And it's just like, although it's on the surface it is just tutorials, but like it's the way it's presented and everything, and it's very much like for people who like maybe didn't have that sort of upbringing where their parents didn't teach them those skills, or like that sort of thing. It's just so nice to kind of to see that sort of content. It just warms my heart like every single time. And he's been doing it for a long time as well.
He has, yeah. And I think what's even better is Rob Kenny is his name, I believe.
Yes.
He teaches these life lessons because his father, he says, walked out on his family at a very young age, and so he knows what it's like to sort of grow up and have these questions about things like maybe it's changing a tire, or things that I guess your stereotypical father figure would teach you that, and they aren't around to do it, which is why he does it. And yeah, as you said, he's been around for ages, but he blew up recently because everyone was just big upping him on Twitter and TikTok. He got discovered. And now he has more than 4 million subscribers. I visited his channel today. He has a full-fledged PR team, and he has a branded Father's Day deal with Lowe's. So Rob Kenny, Dad How Do I, is doing very well for himself, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, honestly.
So those are just a few of our favourite dadfluencers on social media. There are a lot more, and I'm sure some honourable mentions that we definitely missed. So if we need to check out any other dads before Father's Day, please let us know on social media at GiraffeSM. Now it's time for our tips and tricks segment, where we share what we've learned in the world of social media and how you can apply it to your social strategy. This week, we're going to be breaking down the best ways to create an inclusive environment for your audience on Father's Day. For non-traditional families, gendered holidays can be quite isolating. I think there are children with single mums, foster parents, LGBT parents, or just have other family members serving as their guardians. Most brands are catching on that the modern family has changed, and the more inclusive their ads are and their social strategy is, the better. So I thought to wrap up today's episode, we could share some of the few ways that you can make your Father's Day promotions more inclusive for all of your customers. Fortunately, all of our tips today are going to flow into one another. So Ellie, you're going to start us off, and then we're each going to go through.
Okay. So I think that like a brand campaign or social media campaign is a really great opportunity for kind of any brand or business to kind of be inclusive to all the different father figures kind of out there. And as you've already said, Chloe, there's so many different ones that have kind of emerged and now exist within our society. So I wanted to kind of say an example of a really great campaign that I think many brands can take inspiration on from and kind of use and put their own spin on it, basically. But it is Gillette's First Shave video campaign. I don't know whether you guys have ever seen this.
I love this one.
It's really sweet, and it features a transgender activist, and the video shows a unique example of a son experiencing his first shave at an older age after his transition, and his dad is kind of guiding him and like showing how to do it, and it's just really lovely, and it just shows that you don't have to be born a particular gender to kind of still experience shaving or anything that your dad would typically show you. But I just think it's a really lovely campaign that kind of focuses what a father can be, and really inclusive as well to the current times. And it's really important as a brand to kind of be focusing on these sort of things and remembering to be inclusive. And it's lovely.
Definitely. I think as well, like, as well as, people have same-sex parents, and, you might have transgender children or transgender parents as well. It's also important for brands to remember that not everyone's celebrating Father's Day, has a father figure in their life anymore. I love the type of posts that are saying like Happy Father's Day or Happy Mother's Day too. And then it's like people who are grieving or people who never met their dad and things like that, which Katie, you've got a really nice tip for.
Yeah, no, like with Father's Day and Mother's Day as well, like it's really important to be sensitive to your audience, because as we said, like not everyone has a dad, not everyone has a mum, not everyone has those like figures in their life. So giving people the option to opt out of this content in what can be quite a tender time really for some people, whether that's like, I don't know, maybe dialing back a little bit on like your posts so it's not like all your content is, or even if you have a mailing list or anything, give people the option to opt out of those specific emails. I know that like Thoughtful, for example, a card brand that I love, I use them a lot, but like they're really hot on it. Like at least a month before Father's Day and Mother's Day and everything, I get the email that's just like, do you want to opt out? And yeah, I think it's just really important, and it really shows that you care about your audience as well, and you're not intentionally putting them in a position where they feel uncomfortable or they can't relate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's such a smart and nice idea, like even to kind of put not trigger warnings per se, but as we kind of enter June and this period in your social media posting and in your email marketing as a whole, to just say like, hey, this is a sensitive time for a lot of people. If you need to unfollow, unlike, unsubscribe, we'll be here when this period is over. Because I think we as consumers understand that, marketers have a job to do, but yeah, we don't always have to sort of subscribe to that, and we need to take care of ourselves first and foremost. So for brands to kind of acknowledge that, I think can only strengthen their relationship with their audience. Well, my final tip for today to sort of round off this segment is to try not to make assumptions in your marketing and in your social media posting, because this is also an aspect of inclusivity that involves expanding our definition of what a dad is. It's not the 1970s anymore. Like, brands can no longer make these lazy assumptions that all dads are the breadwinner, that they like drinking beer, that they only watch sports and they don't know how to change a diaper. Like, that's just not the case anymore. And I think that it hasn't been for quite a while for a whole wide range of different reasons. So I think it's time to start portraying fatherhood in a way that advances more positive values and resonates with modern dads. I think like things as small as making all your Father's Day posts blue in their color scheme, because dads are boys and boys like blue, like just really outdated kind of thinking like that. It may seem small, but it can have a huge impact on your audience, and you do end up kind of excluding people, even just kind of in your portrayal and your imagery. We talk about this quite a lot when it comes to inclusivity. Like, are you only showing, white dads, and are you only showing heterosexual dads and things like that? I think, it's really important that we don't make these assumptions about our customer base, and dads as a whole. So I think that's sort of a nice place to stop and to wrap it up. And for all the marketers listening, we hope you have a successful Father's Day period, and you get some sales coming through, but just be wary of those tips. Well, that's all we've got time for today. If you enjoyed this week's episode, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you'd like to leave us a review on your favorite podcasting app, we wouldn't mind that either. We've been Giraffe Social Media. You've been amazing. We'll see you next time.